An absolute ton of skulls from our bald giant, triple skull damage from our web spinner, and a constant stream of blue from our weapon. That is going to be most teams' worst nightmare, but that's exactly what this team does. He's bald, he's big, he'll bash with skulls real quick. He's Baldr, but look at that face on him. He's got a face on him as if he's just bought a game for the PlayStation Store, only to find it's going to be free on PlayStation Plus a few days later. That is the exact face when that happens to me, anyway. Right, anyway, on with the team. What Baldr does is he creates 4 skulls boosted by blue allies. We're going to have all blue allies. This is going to mean a creation of 16 skulls whenever he casts. Majority of the time, this equals really good matches on skulls and devastating damage. We've got 2 of these guys, so we're going to do super amounts of damage with this. And a web spinner. If you've got a 3rd straight, he does triple a skull damage. This is only going to be effective against non-impervious or invulnerable troops, but that is the vast majority of the game. And another thing to note as well is I do not use a team like this if we start with a root trap on us. If web spinner starts entangled, this nullifies the team in a big way and you are relying on a cleanse to make the team effective. And this also applies to other skull-based teams like my Shregra skull team and other teams like that as well. Right, so we got our damage dealer with web spinner doing a triple skull damage, Baldr creating all the skulls, and the ideal complement to this is Oshia's Tome. This explodes 4 gems for each blue ally and each elemental ally. We have 4 blue allies. That is going to be 16 blue gems exploded, which is going to be the majority of the board most of the time. But we can help this even further in the upgrade path, which is one of the reasons why this weapon is so good as well. The last one is Ice. Create an Ice Storm. That is going to create an absolute ton of blue, which is going to be awesome and generate mana for the whole team. In Titan class, the main reason for this is we want all giant allies to have a 50% mana start. We are a giant, Baldr is a giant, so that is 3 out of our 4 teams starting with 50% mana, which is really nice. In the champion talents in Titan class, it's the last 3 we are mainly interested in. Rock Solid, gain a barrier when matching brown gems, will be mostly incidental but really handy when it works because we don't actually collect brown. Lightning Strike, explode 1 yellow gem on 4 or 5 gem matches, aids mana generation. And Fortitude is just useful to be immune to stun, poison, disease, death mark, lycanthropy and devour. So the banner for this is going to be +2 red, +1 blue, -1 brown. We want to get our border up nice and quickly. So the idea of this is just collect red if we can from the start, go nuts with Baldr and just obliterate with web spinner. Right, so let's take this team into a few battles. You may notice I have 3 times Orpheus medals on at the top. This is a good way to go with a team like this with no natural cleanse, just in case we do get hit with any status effects during the battle. Right, I would always do the right hand side just to make it as hard as possible. Now, one thing I do want to make clear is I do not normally fight this team or use this team when I'm against a team which root traps me from the beginning, which is Entangle. If Web Spinner starts Entangled, this is going to basically mess up the way this team is meant to work, and you are relying entirely on your Orpheus medals or a natural cleanse to come in and save you, which you don't really want. And the same applies to my Shregra teams and my other skull-based teams as well. If they're all about skulls and pretty much skulls only, you do not want to start Entangled. It is not a good idea, so pick another team in those situations generally. Another thing to note is in a Guild Wars scenario where you might want to try a team like this, I would probably swap Oshia's Tome. You don't actually get to cast it all that much, it's more like a backup, and a good alternative weapon for this would be something like the Cobaltine Wand. This explodes a load of red gems, which is going to charge up our borders, and it also has a summon as well, which is really, really important. In Guild Wars, if you get unlucky and you lose one of our troops early, you can get a summon from this, which is going to give you more points and more chance of winning the game. So Cobaltine Wand in the same place, in the bottom of the pile, if you fancy that one instead. Just give this team a run in PvP a few times, see how many times you cast Oshia's Tome, things like that. Now the cool thing about Baldr being on 6 mana start means basically a 3 match on red mana surge gets him charged up straight away. And even if it was a 4 match where you can't get a mana surge, you just get the bonus 4. With the bonus 2 we're getting from our red Baldr would still be up in that situation at the same time. Right, so let's grab that. We didn't get the Mana Surge, but it doesn't matter. We've got our Oshia's Tome up instead. This is where it is handy. We'll cast that. We've now got a blue storm going at the same time now, so blue gems fall more than the other colours. We'll grab that anyway, because we want to get our other Baldr ready to go if possible. Now, Webspinner's there, but now this is where I don't cast him, because basically the spell is useless in this situation. It's not useless, it's okay, but we don't want a load of green on the board. We want to leave that as it is. The point of Webspinner is to do his triple skull damage, or her triple skull damage, sorry, it's actually a she, and nothing more. And by leaving Webspinner charged, you are no longer mana blocking Baldr on the blues, so it is really important to leave Webspinner there. We'll get rid of that because we want to hopefully get some more skulls. There's not more skulls, but we're going to generate 16, so really unlucky not to get some matches here. We can either take this or we can hit them. We'll collect that first. That would be far more sensible. That's got both Baldrs up. Now you can cast one, then the other one. Absolutely stacks of damage. And they are nearly out of it. They've got a 50% damage reduction on skulls, so they're going to survive a little bit longer, but their doom is inevitable. Let's collect some Baldr stuff and finish them off. Really quick and straightforward and easy. And like I say, if you swap the Oshia's Tome, we did get to cast it then, but if you fancy the security of a summon as well, then chuck Cobaltine Wand in place of Oshia's Tome. Thing that I really like about Cobaltine Wand is as well, I'll just show it now quickly, is I don't think I showed it last time, is the upgrades. Enchants itself when you cast it, so it's going to get ready to cast again real fast, and it silences the first enemy as well, which means they can't collect mana or cast spells. Really handy, and it causes a random positive status effect on itself, so really handy those last 3 upgrades there on the Cobaltine Wand. Love that weapon. Right, so let's just check this. See, we're still not going to be entangled at the start, so this is still a good way to go about this. We are frozen on blue, so that is a mild concern. But we'll roll with it. No red to collect. But we'll, oh dear, well, we want to stop them getting yellow, but they're going to get some blue or yellow, so can't really stop that. So basically, we'll just grab some blue and see what happens. You can go for yellow. Yellow's a good shout. If you get yellow and you get a surge, you can be ready to cast that. We didn't get a surge, so that was unfortunate. Now it's who they decide to cast their weapon on. Right, let's get this charged up. Now the team's been messed around a lot, but this is again where the team strength comes into it, because we create so many skulls with both Baldrs charged up. Yes, we've lost the triple skull damage of the web spinner, and it's good to show good things and bad things about a team as well. But the fact is, we've got both Baldrs up. They get so many skulls. We do so much skull damage, so much mana generation. It's still a really effective team. We're still blitzing through the opposition, even without that triple skull damage. Our team got screwed up massively by that change around from rope dart, but it hasn't made the slightest bit of difference. Look at the damage we're doing. I don't even need to take that 4 match. It's ludicrous. See you later. Another straightforward victory, even though the AI got a really nice start on their rope dart first. Literally, it did not matter. Let's go for the funny little team here. Well, whatever. Alright, any red mana surge will give us a Baldr up absolutely straight away. There's one hit. And let's do this side first. Enemy down. 171 life. Loads of blue. Another enemy down. Another one down. Don't cast Web Spinner. We'll collect some yellow, I think, for the team. And this is nearly over already. Don't even need to cast Ocean's Tome really, but we will. Just in case the enemy had some sort of summon which you aren't expecting sometimes. Quite often you can be surprised as a new player when you think that, or an inexperienced player, if you've not been playing the game for very long, and you think you're going to get the skull hit and then you hit someone, think they're going to die, and that's the end, and suddenly you get a summon out of nowhere and it's like, oh, where'd they come from? So always play it safe. Alright, and this will probably be the last one. That's what we got here. See, the root trap now. So I'll show this team now, but I'll show what can happen if you start root trapped at the beginning, why it's not always advisable. But ordinarily, if you weren't root trapped, this team is still fairly effective against these Leonis Tower Kurandara teams because we create just so many skulls. But this is the kind of situation where, and I'll change it just to show the way the team works. I would, let's say for some reason I'm forced to use this team. Obviously we're not, but I will now change the bottom weapon for the Cobalt Team Wand just to show the effect of that. So now we haven't got the explosion of blue gems, but we have got an explosion of red gems, which is going to aid our borders and a summon as well, just in case our web spinner gets zapped out of it before he has a chance to do anything. But just to make it clear, I would not ordinarily run this team when we start a root trapped, because we do have 3 times Orpheus medals, which have kicked in straight away, so that was really lucky. But you can't rely on that, or you don't want to rely on that. It is not ideal, not by a long stretch of the imagination. Right, is our Baldr. He's ready to go, but there's only 3 skulls, so it's not perfect. They're quite a long way from getting their troops charged up. If there was a red available, I'd have taken another red. And if there was a blue available, I'd have taken another blue. But being as though neither of those things are available, I'm going to cast Baldr. And that was 2 hits, so that's pretty good. The Leonis Tower is harder to kill because it gets the damage reduction, and it is invulnerable as well. That didn't do as much as I would have hoped, but anyway. Okay, now we're rocking and rolling. There's probably 4 match there somewhere, but there's so many skulls, I'll like it as it is. Now, I think we're going to... yeah, I think we'll just hit them straight with a skull. 180 damage. Really good. Can now use this to get some charge for the team. That could have gone better. See, this is where the summon comes in handy. This would be a little bit of a bad run at the moment on Guild Wars Day. You don't want to give him anything that's going to give him a skull hit preferred. So I don't really want to do that because it's going to mean Baldr's demise, or the first one anyway. We want to now, if anything, get the weapon charged up. So we'll hit him with that. Now we can go to town with the Baldrs again. We're still in a good place. This is what you could do now. You could cast the first Baldr, try and get rid of their first troop, but in a Guild War situation now, this is where you wouldn't cast Baldr now. You would cast the Cobalt Team Wand to get the summon, get a full roster of troops again, and now finish them off with Baldr. Like that, and you finish with a full roster of troops. Yeah, it got a bit shady. The first 2 troops were near the end of their health, but always better to end up with a full roster of troops if you can. And that's where Cobalt Team Wand comes in handy. So there's a team. There's my Baldr team with Webspinner. Really good for a blue day and really good for a PvP in general, providing you do not start a root trap. That is one thing definitely to look out for. Well, there's a team. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful or helpful, be sure to think about bashing that like and subscribe button, but don't think too long. Just bash it. It's in your interest as well. Any liked videos are much easier to find for you and a good reference point in the future. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.